Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back with the owner and creator of CircuSoul, based out of beautiful Florida. Kerry Tice joining us here live from the studio. How are you today?
I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How is Sarasota treating you?
Well, I am pretty sure the weather's maybe a little bit better than there.
Yeah. We're in New York, of course. It's a little chilly today, but it's exciting to have you here. I'm loving the colors. That teal pops really good on camera. Would you mind introducing yourself and CircuSoul to our listeners and viewers today?
Absolutely. Love to. My name is Kerry Tice, and I'm the founder here and director at CircuSoul Yoga. And we are a full service yoga studio, yoga teacher training facility, as well as yoga retreat center. There's really not much under the yoga umbrella that we don't do and that we don't offer.
Perfect. And I know we learned a lot last week about fascia. I was fascinated with fascia. You had me Googling the other day, and I was fascinated by it. And I told my 4-year-old son about fascia, and he's 4, and he loves the human anatomy in the body, and we have skeletons everywhere. And he said, but I don't see the fascia. And I'm like, so I showed him like some YouTube videos. So that was a great conversation, by the way. Thank you.
Well, how awesome to be able to start sharing, with the next generation of things.
It's true.
This is stuff that we really should be learning when we're going through school. And, there's so many things that we miss out on. And fascia is one of those things that like everybody should know about, at least, an hour's worth of information, so that we can just make more informed decisions about how to take care of our bodies.
Absolutely. Well, Kerry, let me ask, what was our area of focus for today?
Our focus today is actually going to be meditation.
Okay, good.
And, meditation is one of these things that it's not what it seems. It's not what I thought it was. And it's rarely often what you think it is. We have this like kind of image of Buddha or, some kind of person, spiritual person sitting kind of in this position right here and having the hands in this position and just being there so stoic and still. And that's not all that meditation is, right? That is kind of like one image of what, meditation might be like. But there are all kinds of forms of different meditation. And really, you got to try different ones on, just like, a pair of shoes. You got to find the shoe that fits, but also it kind of has the right function, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't put on sandals to go hiking.
Yep.
And in that same way, we have so many different forms of meditation, that finding that right form that fits kind of your personality also in your need, it's so important. And meditation it's something that it's not just this like really big topic for for different TV networks, but it's also something that we're seeing a huge increase in the number of scientific research studies. So, kind of in a 3-year period in the 90s, maybe they would do like a half a dozen studies on meditation. As we get kind of in the early 2000s, you'd see that number definitely increase into like the 20s and 30s over a 3-year period. But kind of in the most recent 3-year period that I looked up, 213 scientific research studies on meditation. So we're not just something that's been around for, thousands of years, and we already know it definitely has benefits for those who do it and practice. You don't need any science research, you don't need anything other than your own personal experience to realize this is powerful stuff. But what we're realizing is that science is starting to catch up with what yoga has known for years, that we need to meditate. We need to take care of this mind.
Well, what are some of the benefits of meditation, and how do you describe the difference between meditation and mindfulness?
Absolutely. So mindfulness is kind of a state of living where we're mindful of our surroundings. We're mindful of what's currently happening. And we can utilize the surroundings, like the things we hear, the taste that we taste, the smells we smell, like anything that can bring you into the present moment right here, right now, is really about mindfulness. So we can do mindfulness meditation where we focus on the different things that are going on around us, but also what's going on within us. We can focus in on the breath, the heartbeat, and taking that time to be present takes you out from being into the future and obsessing about the past. And I don't know about you, but at some point in our time, in our day, our life, whatever it is, we obsess, right, about things that really don't matter,
Yes.
and we get stressed about it, right? We get
Yes.
anxiety, we get all kinds of,
Yep.
different things. But the benefits of meditation, they're starting to see these different scientific research studies coming out, and they're showing stress reduction through mindfulness. And a lot of the research that I was actually looking up this morning, they kept going back to mindfulness. It was like, and mindfulness is a specific type of meditation, but they're really gearing in on that in the science research. And they're showing that through mindfulness, this mindfulness meditation, of course, we're going to see stress reduction. But what they found is these other things that you kind of maybe wouldn't think would be affected by meditation, like irritable bowel syndrome, right? PTSD, as well as fibromyalgia. They're showing some really great research in the world of chronic pain, right? And anybody who's been in chronic pain or been in, just pain for a little while, you realize you'd do just about anything, to not be in pain.
Yeah.
And so we're showing, so many different benefits for something that isn't what it seems on the outside. Meditation it's not about emptying the mind, right? There's no way to empty the mind. But we have this amazing brain. It's the most powerful sender and receiver of signals in the world. And it came with at least one fault, right? And the biggest fault that it came with is there's no off button. Right?
Yes.
You can't just turn it off. So we don't learn to turn it off in meditation, but we learn how to become present for it. And instead of being reactionary to our thoughts or to, what's going on in the moment, we can learn to respond. And when we start to learn to respond, we can learn how to really kind of tonify the nervous system in a way that reduces chronic stress and inflammation and helps us be more present. And presence is such a gift, because we love to obsess about the past, about things that, have already happened. And I don't know about you, but I'm a pretty good futurizer. I love to think 5, 10, not just months in advance, but years in advance. And this brings me to the now, right? And being here, being present now is such an amazing way to get out of your head, right? To get out of all of that stinking thinking. And so many people in our country, I was reading a statistics and I think it was just really lowball, 16.9 million in the last year for depression. And we're talking about serious clinical depression. And we're showing that, we have all kinds of ways of dealing with this stuff. We've got, cognitive therapies and talk therapies, and we have tons of drugs. But what they're showing, and even the people who work with this stuff all the time, they realize there's a certain demographic that those things are not effective at all,
Yeah.
And perhaps they're not as effective as we think they are. So, even the PhDs and the doctors of psychiatry, they're looking for alternatives to these mainstream practices in psychology and psychiatry. So, this is kind of the next wave of mental health and, mental health training.
Got it. And what did you want to share in regards to the ancient brain and how this affects us stress-wise in our modern world?
Absolutely. So, our brain, it takes or really just anything takes so much time to evolve, kind of go from that one state to the next. We're talking tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of years. So our brain essentially is really been designed for when we were hunter gatherers, when we were out and we were hunting our food, we were gathering our food, we were getting the nuts, we were getting the fruits, and we had this lifestyle that was somewhat more simple, or not a little bit, but a lot of it, right? We didn't have all of these stressors that we have today. And so your brain, it perceives things, even if there is no threat, it oftentimes perceives things as a threat. So if you think you're walking along in the evening time and, kind of the lighting's not very good, and you step across something that is kind of like dark and snake-like, right? Your brain will literally turn it into a snake, right? And you have this reaction in your brain and the chemicals that happen, all just like as if there was a real snake
there. Yeah.
right? And if there was a real snake, you would also have that same reaction.
Same reaction. Yeah.
So we live our life and having this brain that was really kind of made for a different time. And we have, our technology has surpassed our brain's ability to kind of adapt quickly, because we don't adapt quickly, right? It's a slow process. And so we've got this ancient brain that is really designed to have maybe a few stressors in the day. Saber-tooth tiger comes around the corner, obvious stressor, right? Red alert. We want to are we going to get the harpoons out and fight this? Or are we going to run away from this? Right. And that's really so much of what happens in our daily life now, is that instead of saying one saber-tooth tiger and, maybe a slight little emergency when you were gathering, now we're having these stress incidences happen throughout our day. Even just before you leave in the morning, a text message comes in, right? And, your heart's racing, things are going on. And, maybe you have a little argument with your spouse or your child over who knows what, a sandwich, right?
Yeah.
Things that literally don't matter, but stress you out anyways. And so before you even have, on your way to the car, you've already had 3 or 4 of these incidents. And these incidents take 45 minutes to 2 hours to recover from.
Oh, wow.
On a biochemical level, right? We have we have so many of these stress hormones released, and we just can't recover, is what the real answer is that we have so many stressors that in our brain, we're reacting to saber-tooth tiger after saber-tooth tiger after saber-tooth tiger. And there could be 30, 50, 80 of those in the day. Wow, and our brain is it's not designed for that. We are so good with stress on an acute level, right? We're really designed to kind of deal with one thing at a time and then move on from there. But our bodies and our minds are not designed for what we're being exposed to, which is chronic stress. And we know chronic stress is one of those high risk factors for almost every disease that we're dealing with in the country. Obesity, right? Depression, anxiety, heart disease, all of these things all come from chronic stress. So we are this ancient brain living in a modern world. And so if we're going to continue doing that, which we are, right? There's no kind of end in sight with the change in technology. If anything, it continues to roll out faster and there's more of it. So the answer is that we need to meditate. We need to have some sort of mindfulness practice in our everyday life, right? And we're not talking about going off to the Himalayas and becoming a monk and just meditating all day long, right? We're talking about utilizing a tool that can really bring more quality to our years and more quality to our life. And that's really what all of this is all about, is being able to live a less stressed life. And just be, feel more fulfilled. So meditation, mindfulness, it's not going anywhere. But it's something that can be so challenging that we will avoid it, right? We will do just about anything to avoid some things that are good for us, right? Like a good habit or a good thing that we pick up, right? Sometimes we're just like, no, we won't do it. So oftentimes when you kind of start a meditative practice, you probably don't even start it right away, right? Yeah. You're like, I'll start it next year. Right? You're like, it's January. Right? You're like, January 2023, I'm going to start meditating.
You said January, right? Yeah.
Right. It's January, no problem. So we need to do something, more immediate. So what I want to do today is share a little bit of this meditation with you.
Sure.
Share a little bit of mindfulness, with our viewers. And what's cool about this is it's something you can come back to later. So if you're listening right now and you're not in a state where you can kind of chill out or maybe even close your eyes, you can start to just see what a meditation experience is like and see if it's something, that you want to try out.
Yeah.
But you don't have to be an experienced meditator to start. You don't have to really all you have to have is the desire
The
to
drive,
try.
the will. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the will
And,
to just kind of be there.
and
So
for newcomers too, right?
everybody, yeah,
Okay.
whether you're, an experienced, you've never stepped foot in a yoga class. That's what one so powerful about yoga is that we combine the movement of the postures to kind of prepare the body and the mind for
Mm-hmm.
for asana, which is to sit, right?
Okay.
So if you're at home and you're, at the computer, just,
I am,
sit
but
back in the
can't put my legs up.
chair, sit upright with the spine. You might not be able to,
I don't want to sit on the floor.
but that's okay. You're going to do what you can today.
Okay.
And then if you really enjoy this, you can come back to this every day. You could come back and just replay this. And finding the right meditation for you, finding the right teacher for you is just so important. But with modern technology, we talked about kind of some of its downfalls, but with it, we have this proliferation. You can download all kinds of apps. You can download mindfulness apps. You can download guided meditations. So there's all kinds of different ways. And so what I'm going to share with you today is we'll start off with a kind of a mindfulness meditation, and then we'll move into kind of a visualization. So mindfulness is a great way to kind of hook the mind into the present moment. And then the visualization is just a great way to keep the mind occupied and be present with, what's currently going on.
Got it. All right, let's begin.
Awesome. So if you're at home and you can be on the floor, great. And if not, just be as comfortable as you can be, right? The only place this is probably not a great place to do this, right? If you're driving currently, right? Don't close your eyes. And if you're a pilot, right? Flying a plane, also another time that you should not meditate. All other times, right? You're ready to go. So just take a moment and either soften the eyes. And if you're not comfortable closing the eyes, just look softly down the bridge of the nose. And then we start to become aware of the surroundings, right? First, see if you can hear maybe something off in the distance outside the building. Maybe there's sounds inside the room. Just take these next few moments to connect with those sounds, to hear what you hear. Now that you've brought the awareness into the hearing, now move the awareness to the feeling of your body in space. Right? If you're sitting in a chair, feel your hips, feel your buttocks in the chair. And if you've got a wall or chair behind you, feel that support of the spine. And then feel every part of your body that makes contact with the earth. Perhaps the toes and the feet, or the sides of the ankles and the knees. Becoming very aware of your body and the space that your body currently occupies. Awareness of space and awareness of the body. Now that your full awareness is here in the present moment, take these next few moments to feel the energy and the temperature just outside the skin. Is it cool or warm? Is there a breeze or a lack of airflow? Can you begin to palpate the feeling of the energy in your space, right? That energy around you, in you. Now that the total awareness is here on the senses, begin to draw the awareness now to the breath. First, without changing it, just become a silent observer. As if you were observing a friend or a machine, just watching the natural mechanics of the breath. Feel that natural flow of the breath in and out of the nostrils. You feel the sensation as the breath travels across the nostrils and then down through the throat and into the lungs. With the continued awareness on the breath, begin to feel the rise and fall of the chest. With each and every breath, you feel the chest rising and falling. And then draw the awareness to the belly. That natural expansion and contraction right at the navel. And feel the navel movements. Continue with this mindfulness of the entire body, your surroundings, your breath. Now begin to take the attention to the mind's eye, beginning to visualize all around you in all directions a beautiful, untouched jungle. If you were to open your eyes now, you would see above you, below you, behind you, and to both sides, a beautiful green, a vibrant in all directions. And you feel this energy all around you, becoming aware of every leaf, every vine, every tree, every bush, every shrub. And you notice something off in the distance. So you begin to walk in that direction. As you come closer and closer, you realize that something that you were looking at in the distance has a shimmer, almost a beautiful glow. So you decide to go closer. And as you approach, you realize that this shiny, shimmery object is a golden staircase, encrusted with jewels, rubies, diamonds, pearls. So you begin to climb the steps, and you can feel the stones beneath the feet are cool like the mountain. And you begin to hear a sound at the top of the stairs. The sound is something familiar, but still unknown. As you hear that sound, you're already feeling very comfortable and very relaxed. So you continue up the stairs, noticing along your ways the beautiful gems, the beautiful jewels in the stairs, all over. And as you arrive at the top of the stairs, you have this feeling of security, of comfort, that feeling that you've arrived at home after a long trip. So you decide to take a seat right at the top of the stairs in this comfortable energy. And you realize as you sit down that you're actually inside the temple of your own heart. You feel a joy, a sense of love, boundless, limitless. You feel this unconditional love for yourself, for your body, for your mind. And this love begins to expand outward, not just for yourself, but for everything around you, all your surroundings, all the trees, all the vines, every bit of green, you feel very deeply connected to it. You feel a sense of joy, gratitude, of love at the heart. Taking a deep inhalation and a long, slow exhalation. And taking these next few breaths to just be in this space, breathing in love and breathing that same love out into your environment. And then slowly bringing the awareness to your heart center. Draw the hands to the heart or left palm on top of the heart with the right palm on top. As you feel the beat of the heart, it brings you back to this present moment, back to the here and the now, where you feel a sense of security, connection, love. Taking 2 more breaths here. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully. Slowly starting to open the eyes or look at the bridge of the nose, drawing your awareness back into this space. Thank you for taking that time out for yourself.
Felt good for me here. My goodness. Wow. I feel great. I hope some of us who are following along as well, those that weren't driving and flying, but I feel so relaxed. I don't ever really relax, Kerry. That was nice. Thank you.
And you didn't have to lay down, you didn't have to go anywhere. We literally can take out, never discount a few moments of self-care, never discount a few moments of meditation. And yoga and meditation meets you where you're at.
Wow.
So if you're ready to do a 30-second or a 3-minute, whatever that is, just start now, right? Don't wait till later. And there's so many different resources, tons of options on YouTube. Just find something that you resonate with and give it a go, right?
Great.
And the more often you do something like this, that's what they were showing in the research, is that, most of these research studies were over an 8-week period. And that the biggest thing that they showed is that the more often you do it, the more benefits.
Yeah. And Kerry, tell us the website, how we can get in touch with you, please.
You can reach us at CircuSoul.com. That's circus, OUL.com. And you can reach us at our phone number is 941-922-9642. And we look forward to chatting with you soon.
Same here. Thank you so much for helping me relax. Seriously. Thank you for that.
I hope this touches your day. And
it does.
Thank you.
Difference. Now it woke me up too. I feel inspired. Thank you, Kerry. I'm Tice.
Relaxed but awake, right?
I do.
Relaxed but energized.
Absolutely. Thank you again.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.